All right, so yesterday I said I was not going to hollow out her bottom. I've since changed my mind. I definitely want to do that. I just feel like there are going to be too many areas left um, with uneven thicknesses, because there's this part in here that like I didn't go into that. I stopped pretty much at the juncture here. So, I've got to sort of keep my fingers crossed that this differential in drying time, doesn't cause a problem for this piece. And I think I need to lessen that in areas that I can. And this is one of the areas where I can. So I'm just going to drag this down to a point. I think right here is good. And I'm just going to pull it forward. So you see, that's a good amount of clay. Now I have to be careful because I don't want to gouge out too much and result in any sort of collapse. But I think all of this right here will stand on its own. All right, let's go ahead and put this excess clay into the bag with the other clay so we can start matching the consistency moisture-wise. And you see I just test it from time to time with my fingers to make sure that I'm not going in too deep. Because when I go to rejoin it, I don't want it to collapse on itself. And I've gone just about as far as I dare to go right there. Now because this has that little concave, I'm not going to take much off of here. I'm just going to sort of scrape and allow it to compact and flatten. making sure the pieces meet and letting that extra skip right on out. That's fine. That's what we want. All right, we are clocking out at 35 minutes. Didn't have much to do. Just wanted to, hollow out some area of her behind so that it wouldn't be such thick clay. I'm going to let this sit out, air dry for a while. I've just been spinning it around so you can take a look at her. And then I'm going to go in and really tighten up and clean up the line. Like I had these, the breasts were more planed on the sides, and I want to restore that. So there's just a lot of areas where I want to return it to the very, very architectural look that I had initially. That, just was manipulation, accidentally putting too much pressure in the wrong areas. I've created indentations and, just little clay deposits that I don't want there. And that'll all get cleaned up, bit by bit. I really want to take my time on this and make it as smooth and pristine as possible. So we're going to stop here for now, let her get even more leather hard. She's been hollowed out completely. If you remember again, we made a slice here. Well, the first slice was across here. Separated the top, the breast area from the torso, and then made a split down this section of the breast, hollowed both of these pieces out, did the same thing here, made a split, hollowed as much out as I could. I had already dug down deep into her torso, and, oh wow, that was interesting. I didn't even know that I had pushed this area out. That's crazy. So I've got to go and push that back in. And that's an area where I let the clay get too thin on the inside. So I just pushed a hole through it. Yep, that's what I just did. So I am now going to have to serrate and build this up because that's an area where I went way too thin. I can't even do it with that tool. I'm going to have to use the needle tool. Give it something to grab onto. And I am going to put a bit of a slab there because I need, part of this is going to get pushed into the hole, but I need it to be about the thickness of the wall. So in order to do that, I'm going to serrate this. I actually can cut this off some. Yeah, I think that's just about enough. All right, so I'm going to push this on in here. I'm folding it in on itself because I need it to cover that hole. So I'm just taking this tool and approaching it from the top and bottom in the same way. Folding it in on itself. As I do that, I'm plugging that hole. Do I know this for a fact? No, it just makes sense because of the maneuvering that I'm doing, right? Pushing it towards that hole. And remember, it's only a little small part of it that got compromised in that way. So I'm just going to join this right to here. Push that in on itself a little bit. Again, only focus is that hole, that weak area, which is right there. Everything else can get shaved away, but the thickest part of this clay needs to cover that hole, and it needs to be a slab and a comparable thickness. Now I'm going to let that set right in there. And then I can come back and sculpt it and make it much more shapely after. But let's go ahead and let that dry in place. Still, the focus is on that hole, that area, pushing the clay right into there so that I know the hole is plugged and it's got enough thickness on this outside to hopefully not encourage any type of clay memory, so that when this starts to dry, it'll be nice and even. Okay, so that's where we patched it. And we have now gone to 42 minutes because of that error that I made. All right, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.